Hey, it's chapter 3, data transparency, and I'm going to get off of this screen. I'm not having a very good hair day. So welcome everybody to chapter 3. This is a huge chapter. There's quite a few videos in this one, so I think you'll enjoy it. I'm here to tell you that as a FIM coach, having data conversation is probably the most important role you have when speaking with teachers around student work. We want our students given the opportunity to look at their work, to see how they're growing, to see where they might be struggling, and to keep track of their progress. Because once we do that, we give them ownership. And there's a good chance that they will set goals for themselves or they'll keep trying. So giving ownership to these students is really important with FIM, and this is how we do it. This right here is a student graph, and all students 1st through 11th get a student graph. It may not look exactly like this. This looks to me like this is a 3rd grade. Nope, 4th grade, decimal line and number line. This is a 4th grade student graph. So if you look over here, these will be the standards that will be graphed throughout the year. These are the 8 power standards. And I would say this is test 1, test 3, test 5. You're looking at the odd cycle or the A cycle. A lot of times teachers will copy the 2 graphs on one piece of cardstock, one on one side, one on the other. Sometimes students will copy the odd test on blue cardstock and the even cycle on pink, so kids don't get confused. But this stays in the room, most likely in a student folder, so that they can pull it out whenever their test has been corrected and sent back to them, and now they get to graph their data. They will know what standards they're working on. Every student graph will have their own set of I can statements here. So test 1, 3rd graders can do a bar graph. Let's say they got 2 right. They can color in up to 2 for test 1. And then down here on test 1, they will look at their test and decide, did the teacher mark it right or wrong? If right, they can put a smiley face. Down here, here's the key. And if wrong, an X. So if I put an X here, that means I did not get that multiplication problem right. Smiley face in Power Standard 2. Ooh, I know how to compare with visual models. So these are the kind of conversations we want teachers having with their students so that they can actually communicate what's going well and what might be a struggle. Here is a photo of a student filling in their student graph. You'll notice 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tests in, and it looks to me like this child is really getting Power Standard 4. Smiley, 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 smiley. That's great to see. And his growth, amazing. Amazing growth. We oftentimes will see big dips, but in the end, this line does make it close to the top. He's looking at his test over here. That looks like a star. And so he's filling in his student graph with stars. Star, star, and Power Standard 8 looks like an X. I am going to show you a video because there are some people who say, well, kids cannot fill out their own student graphs. They make mistakes or they'll cheat or lie. Not if you have that conversation with them. It's their data. They'll be truthful. And if they make a mistake, it's okay. It's okay. We'll learn from that. So another piece of data we keep in our FIM schools are building-wide data. For instance, here in Reese, if you'll notice, this is a floor-to-ceiling thin graph that was painted on, and it is color-coded. Kindergarten is the pink line. Oops, they took a dip. Normally, that's what you'll see in schools. Kindergarten will have the highest averages. It's then first, and then at the bottom will be fifth, right? Because there's more standards and more opportunity for gaps. But this keeps it really transparent for all to see. The community who comes into the basketball games, teachers will walk their kids by this data graph and have conversation. It's really awesome. Now, you don't have to have something that grandiose. But as you can see here, kids are talking about the data. Where are we? Where do we want to be? Who are we surpassing? This is the 7th grade classroom I visited, and part of their math standards is a scatter plot. So they chose to collect their FIM data using a scatter plot. And I think it was just fabulous. It shows as the weeks went by, more and more and more kids are getting 8 out of 8 and less 0 out of 8. This is where the average is taking them. I included this picture because I really liked how this teacher kept her students informed around where they're at and what goals they should be setting as a classroom. So these are, the stars show where they're at as a classroom average. So by test 7, they were getting it 5 out of 8 correct as a classroom. And these targets, these bullseye targets, is what she's saying you should be at as a classroom. So what I'm gaining from this graph is that by test 7, this teacher has taught 6 of the 8 standards. And since she has taught them pre to post, it is now an expectation that kids will be getting 6 out of 8 on their power standard tests. And you'll look down here, a target of 4. So she's taught 4 out of the 8 standards on the even tests. Target, they met their target on test 4. They did not, so they took a dip. So when I look at this graph as a coach, I go, oh my, she has taught 4 down here, and she has taught 10 of the 16. She is really doing well. She's keeping pace with her curriculum. And we know that this is great because these are the most critical standards at that grade level. So that's there again is an awesome coaching opportunity to talk about which standards are coming next, how might she plan for that, how might she teach the kids on the next warm-ups. Lots of great information here on this graph. So I'm going to let you go here. I would like you to take a look at this video of a first grader who has been handed back her test, and she is going to teach us how she takes care of her data on her student graph. Okay, I'll see you right back.